Awareness is quite strong, but I think understanding is quite low. And I think the 2-year period, bedding in period, will allow brands to get up to speed with what the GDPR actually means for their business. I think the first thing to take a look at is how data can be used in the future, the different use cases for that, especially with data portability. That brings potential risks, but huge opportunities. Data portability from the GDPR means that I can take my data from one context and use it in another, which means for brands, well, that's their data going somewhere else. But actually, when you integrate data around the individual, then you get a much richer understanding of those customers. And as long as that relationship is a trusted one, you're going to benefit. Well, if you're a data business, which most businesses are now, it's absolutely essential. The risk of not complying is 4% of annual turnover or £20 billion, whichever is highest. It's that severe. So every brand needs to be on top of this, not only from a regulation and risk point of view, but from an opportunity point of view. This 2-year buffer period allows people to do a lot of test and learn activities to see what works for their business and get a first mover advantage. We need to understand some of the key concepts within the GDPR. For me, that is data portability, richer data for everyone, engaging in those data relationships. 2, control. What that means is that marketing is not going to be something that is just done to people. We're going to enter an era where we'll have much more one-to-one marketing communications, where brands engage consumers and consumers go, okay, here's some of my data. This is me. What can you offer me? And thirdly, consent. At the minute, data is collected on a blanket basis. You need consent for every specific use of that data. And you can't just collect data and figure out what you're going to do with it later. There has to be a specific reason. And that, for me, is one of the biggest kind of areas that people should look at first.
In terms of where brands need to be placing this on their areas of priorities, I think it really needs to be up there. As soon as the regulation is passed, companies will have 2 years to follow all of those regulations.